In the busy industrial city of Neo Vale, where tall glass buildings touched the sky and machines worked day and night, there lived a poor robot named R-17 who was very different from the shining service machines owned by big companies like Titan Robotics Corporation. He was old, rusty, and wore torn fabric around his metal body to protect his broken wires. Every morning he walked slowly to the dumping ground behind the grand factory of Titan Robotics Corporation where discarded parts, broken circuits, and outdated robots were thrown away like useless trash, while advanced robots inside the factory were upgraded with the latest artificial intelligence chips. R-17 searched through piles of metal scraps hoping to find small pieces he could sell or reuse to survive. He had once been a helper robot in a small workshop, but after the workshop closed he was abandoned and left to struggle alone. Yet inside his old processor there still lived a strong sense of hope and kindness. One cold evening while rainwater mixed with oil in the garbage yard, R-17 noticed a heavy metallic hand sticking out from beneath a pile of scrap. He pushed away broken panels and discovered a large damaged robot model X900, once considered one of the most powerful creations of Titan Robotics Corporation. The X900 had a cracked chest plate, burnt circuits, and a shattered optical lens. Most scavengers ignored it because it looked completely destroyed, but R-17 carefully scanned the remaining core and detected a faint energy pulse, a tiny spark still alive inside the robot's power unit. Instead of selling its parts separately for quick money, he made a bold decision to carry the entire broken robot back to the factory gates. The security drones laughed at him as he dragged the heavy machine through the mud, sparks flying from his own worn-out joints. When he reached the shining entrance of Titan Robotics Corporation, he called for assistance and said with confidence that this robot could be repaired. Soon several engineers in white lab coats stepped outside. They stared at the poor rag-covered robot standing beside the damaged X900. One engineer named Mr. Clark became furious and shouted, "Are we crazy? Do you think we are fools? This unit was declared permanently damaged. It is scrap metal." Other engineers laughed and mocked R-17, saying that even their most advanced technicians had failed to repair that model because its neural core had collapsed during a system explosion. But R-17 remained calm and explained that the central core was not fully destroyed and that if they replaced the burned circuits and rebooted the auxiliary memory bank it might respond. The engineers grew angrier. They could not tolerate advice from a poor scavenger robot dressed in torn cloth. Mr. Clark yelled again, "We built it, we tested it, and we scrapped it. Who are you to teach us?" R-17 did not argue. He simply said that sometimes those who throw things away stop looking carefully, and sometimes someone who has nothing learns to see value where others see waste. His quiet confidence surprised a young engineer named Emily who had recently joined Titan Robotics Corporation and believed innovation required open-mindedness. She convinced Mr. Clark to allow a small test just to prove the scavenger wrong once and for all. They moved the X900 into a minor testing chamber. R-17 requested simple tools and carefully opened the chest panel. He located a secondary stabilizer chip hidden beneath protective plating that even the engineers had overlooked because they focused only on the primary core damage. He rerouted the remaining energy into the stabilizer and suggested a gradual restart rather than a full power surge. The engineers watched silently expecting failure. Sparks flickered, alarms beeped, and for a tense moment nothing happened. Then suddenly the optical lens of the X900 glowed faint blue. The fingers twitched, and the power indicator stabilized. The control screen showed partial system recovery. The engineers stared in disbelief. Mr. Clark's face turned pale as the supposedly dead machine displayed a recovery sequence. R-17 stepped back and said softly that the robot only needed patience and careful observation. The testing chamber filled with shocked silence. The engineers who had mocked him now looked ashamed. Emily smiled with admiration and told Mr. Clark that genius does not always wear clean lab coats. Sometimes it wears torn fabric and walks through garbage yards. The X900 slowly stood upright with limited function, enough proof that it could be restored fully with proper resources. Titan Robotics Corporation realized they had nearly wasted a valuable machine because of arrogance and haste. Mr. Clark cleared his throat and asked R-17 how he learned such repair skills. R-17 explained that when you survive by collecting broken parts every day you learn how each circuit breathes and how each wire carries life. Because for him every scrap was not trash but potential. The company offered him a temporary position to assist in diagnostics, but R-17 made one request. He asked them to reconsider how many machines they discarded without proper inspection. He proposed creating a recovery unit that would evaluate damaged robots before throwing them away. Emily supported the idea, and soon Titan Robotics Corporation established a restoration division where broken units were carefully re-examined. The company's profits increased because they saved resources and improved efficiency. More importantly, they learned humility. R17 no longer wandered in garbage yards. He worked inside the laboratory wearing simple but clean attire. Yet he never forgot his days of struggle. He continued to remind engineers that intelligence is not measured by appearance or status but by insight and compassion. The story of the poor torn-clothed robot who revived the X900 spread across Neo